Hello, this is Jared Polak, co-founder of Entre Results and co-founder of Entre Results Academy, author of Entre Balance and author of Entre Business. Fired up again for another amazing, incredible, life-changing podcast for you. You entrepreneur, you small business owner, you a leader and a manager and a sales professional within the small business community. Thank you for joining me on this podcast today. And we're going to talk about mind power for a while. We're talking about the power of the mind, or we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about maybe the viewpoint or the vantage point, all these kind of things that involve the way we think. It is powerful. Mindset is critical throughout the entire coaching process. Mindset is critical throughout the entire process of growing your business. It is huge. And there's a lot of people that have a variety, a spectrum of different mindsets or different paradigms, or however you use that word. Certainly, people have different views based on economics. You know, whether that you quote unquote grew up with nothing or whether you grew up with a lot of money, whether currently you're in the middle class or upper middle class, there's certain ways that we think naturally based on economics. Culturally, certainly I love the diversity of culture in my hometown of Houston. It's amazing. I love people with multiple cultures. I've always enjoyed different cultures, but it does affect the way you think. Good, bad, in between. Where you come from, your culture affects how your mind works. Your family upbringing has a huge impact. How did your family bring you up? Was it in a positive, encouraging way? Was it negative? Was it in between? Who raised you? All these things affect so many aspects of the way you think. And we're thinking, about business or about money or about growth. I mean, there's a spectrum based on your family. Your educational level, what level of education? And then even if you have a PhD in certain fields, your education is different than, say, an MBA. So there's the way you were educated affects how you think, and specifically how you think in business. Overall life experiences, what you've experienced in your life, your travel, negative things that have happened to you personally, traumas, or the opposite, right? These things affect you. Your interaction with other entrepreneurs. Some people think entrepreneurially because they grew up around entrepreneurs or business owners, or some people think have a negative idea of, or a wrong mind power of owning their own business because they grew up in a small business. Some people think entrepreneurially naturally. Some people think as employees, as people that work for someone else. And again, it's not always a wrong or a right. It's just different. The mind is powerful. Some people think technically, technician-wise, right? Now, that is very important, but then we also kind of go into the way we think in regards to our fears and our doubts and our limiting beliefs. What holds us back? And in one of our coaching methodologies, we have a process for taking people from overcoming their fears and their doubts to overcoming limiting beliefs, which often result from the experience I talked about before, your economic, cultural, family, educational, life experiences. These things can create limiting beliefs or fears or doubts within you. We have a process to help overcome that. But the first thing you need to do is to recognize it, and really I'll give you the two major things to think about. One is identify it, call it out. Oftentimes it helps to have someone else help you call it out because you don't always realize your own limiting beliefs. But two, the methodology of coaching is action-oriented. So taking action to overcome the limiting beliefs. Don't try to think your way through it, act your way through it, and then it changes the way that you think. I remember early on, I thought I was too young to coach. That was a limiting belief or a fear that I had. But then I realized as I started taking action that I was helping people in a massive way. So that began to change the way I thought. But it was definitely a powerful deterrent at the beginning. A lot of times people have limiting beliefs or fears of I can't make a living as an entrepreneur, or as I work and we work at Entre Results with many very successful, profitable, small businesses that want to get to be big businesses, some of the owners have a fear that they can't create a business that runs without them. So that's a limiting belief or fear. We need to have action steps to overcome. I remember, another fear I had was I can't write my first book. That was a limiting belief or fear, and it stemmed deeply in the fact that I never was great at writing necessarily, and so I never thought I would be a writer. But the reality is the action necessary was to start writing. The action necessary was to start getting some coaching or guidance from people that have written books and have had experience in that. And so there was activity involved. And fortunately, I have a couple books published right now, and publishing books and creating content is what my life's all about now. And so anyway, I just wanted to encourage you, no matter where you're at, just understand the power of the mind and know that to get to the next level, you have to change the way you think, the mind power, and it stems from where you came from. So I want to encourage you today, take massive action on that. Love to help you with that. If you need someone to kind of guide you through a process that will help get you to the next level in regards to your belief system. Again, this is Jared Polak, founder of Entre Results. Have a better than amazing day.